There are battles that roar like storms, and then there are battles that whisper in the dark, unseen, unspoken, but felt in the deepest chambers of the heart. This is the story of one such battle, a quiet struggle that countless adults carry behind their polite smiles, tired eyes, and dependable routines. The silent battle of becoming who they are meant to be. And tonight, as you settle into rest, this story will remind you that even in the stillness, your greatness is quietly taking shape. In a quiet English town with cobblestone streets and soft amber lamplight, there lived a man named Elias. To the world, he was ordinary, a dependable worker, a gentle neighbor, someone who carried groceries for the elderly and held doors open for strangers. But inside him lived a storm, a whispering voice that said, "You should be further in life by now. You should be stronger. You should have done more." Every night, when the world finally rested, Elias sat by his bedroom window with a cup of warm chamomile tea. He watched the moonlight brush the rooftops and asked himself questions he never dared to share. Why did success seem to linger just out of reach? Why did he feel exhausted even when he hadn't moved? Why did his heart feel full and empty at the same time? He did not know that millions of adults carry the same quiet ache, the silent battle of wanting to be great while feeling trapped in the rhythm of responsibility. Yet, something inside him, soft but persistent, whispered, "Keep going." Not loudly, not quickly, but steadily, one breath at a time. And so he did. One evening, after an especially heavy day, Elias returned home feeling as though the weight of the world clung to his shoulders. Bills, expectations, unfinished dreams, and the endless demands of adulthood tightened around him like vines. He lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, feeling the familiar pressure rise in his chest. For the first time in years, he whispered, "Maybe I'm not meant for anything more. Maybe this is all there is." But then, something gentle interrupted the spiral. A memory. He saw himself as a little boy, muddy shoes, bright eyes standing in a field behind his childhood home. He remembered looking up at the sky with unwavering certainty and saying, "One day, I will do something that matters." The memory struck him like a beam of soft light. Not loud, not dramatic, but steady. He realized something adults often forget. Greatness rarely announces itself. Sometimes it grows in silence while you think you're failing. And sometimes the bravest thing you could do is simply not give up. Elias sat up, inhaled deeply, and placed a hand over his heart. It was still beating, still fighting, still trying. And that, he realized, was enough for tonight. Weeks passed, and Elias changed just one thing. He stopped demanding greatness overnight and started honoring small victories. A morning walk, a finished task, a kind word to a stranger, a moment of rest he once felt guilty for, a breath taken deeply instead of hurriedly. Slowly, silently, something extraordinary happened. The storm inside him softened. The pressure loosened. His heart became lighter. And one morning, after months of steady, patient effort, something inside him finally shifted. He realized that greatness wasn't a destination. It wasn't a career milestone, a trophy, a title, or an applause. Greatness was the courage to wake up each day and try again. Greatness was the gentle strength to keep going even when no one was watching. Greatness was choosing peace over comparison and presence over perfection. As the sun rose over the quiet town, Elias stepped outside, breathing in the cool morning air. For the first time in years, he felt a soft smile spread across his face. Not because life was suddenly perfect, but because he finally understood. The silent battles are the ones that shape us. The quiet victories are the ones that last. And every night you choose to rest is a promise of strength for tomorrow. As you drift into sleep tonight, let this truth settle gently in your heart. You are fighting a silent battle that most will never see, and you're doing better than you think. Your efforts matter. Your presence matters. Your quiet resilience is a form of greatness most people never master. Rest now. Recover. Tomorrow will meet you with new light. and you will rise with soft courage, steady purpose, and a heart ready for another quiet victory. Sometimes, life whispers a new chapter when we least expect it, not after a grand victory, but after a quiet surrender. This is where Elias's journey continues, in the soft space between who he was and who he is becoming. After the morning that brought Elias a strange, gentle peace, life did not suddenly become easier. The bills still arrived. Responsibilities still tugged at him. Some days he woke hopeful, and other days he rose from bed with the weight of the world on his ribs. But something had changed. He no longer believed his worth depended on perfection. He no longer chased greatness as if it were running away from him. And slowly, without fanfare, he began to see things he had never noticed before. The way sunshine warmed the wooden table in his kitchen. The soft laughter of the neighbors arguing over who made the better tea. The tender silence of early morning walks before the town fully woke. And one evening, during a gentle drizzle, he took a different path home and saw a small, old door tucked between two shops. A door he had never noticed, even though he had passed it 1,000 times. A sign above it read, "The Lantern Room, where we begin again." Something in him stirred, not loudly, just enough to make him step closer. Inside, the Lantern Room was dim, warm, and filled with soft amber light. People sat quietly reading, sketching, writing, or simply breathing, as if the room itself held the permission they never gave themselves. A gentle woman with silver hair approached him. "You look tired," she said kindly. "Most who come here are." Elias nodded. "I think I've been tired for years." She smiled softly, knowingly. "We all carry battles no one sees. This place isn't for fixing. It's for resting and remembering that you're allowed to take up space." Elias returned the next evening, and the next, and the next. Sometimes he wrote thoughts he was afraid to say aloud. Sometimes he sat in silence, letting his mind settle like snow in a glass globe. Sometimes he simply breathed, and he discovered a truth adults often forget. Sparkle's healing is not loud. It is gentle repetition. Sparkle's growth is not lightning. It is slow dawn. Sparkle's rest is not weakness. It is foundation. The silent battle inside him wasn't gone, but it was finally being understood. One night, as Elias sat with a notebook open before him, he realized his hand no longer trembled. The pressure in his chest no longer burned, and his thoughts, once tangled and sharp, felt smoother, kinder, more whole. It wasn't that he had solved life. It wasn't that he suddenly knew his purpose. It was something simpler, more profound. He had returned to himself. He had stopped running. He had started listening. And in that quietness, an unexpected clarity arrived. His greatness was not something he would someday achieve. It was something he was practicing every day, in his patience, in his compassion, in his resilience, in the gentle ways he rose after falling. As he walked home under a sky full of faint stars, he whispered, "Maybe greatness isn't a mountain to climb. Maybe it's a light we carry, even when no one sees." Tomorrow would bring new challenges. Some days he would be strong. Some days he would stumble. But for the first time in his adult life, he wasn't afraid of the discomfort. He wasn't scared of starting slow. He wasn't ashamed of needing rest. He finally understood. Every quiet, imperfect step is a form of greatness. And the greatest strength is the courage to begin again. As you drift towards sleep tonight, let Elias's quiet rising remind you, you don't need to rush. You don't need to prove your worth. You don't need to win every battle. Your greatness is already unfolding. Not in noise, not in perfection, but in the soft, steady ways you show up for your life. Again and again. Rest now. You are becoming more than you realize. And tomorrow will greet you with a new chance to rise gently and begin again. There comes a moment, not loud, not triumphant, when life stops feeling like something to outrun and starts becoming something to finally understand. For Elias, that moment arrived on a quiet day. That began like any other. He expected nothing extraordinary. He simply stepped into the morning and finally saw the truth that had always been waiting for him. Elias woke before the sun, the world still wrapped in silver dawn. Not because he was anxious, Not because he was chasing something, but because his body had finally learned to breathe again. The town outside his window was still. No rush, no noise, no expectations. He sat on the edge of his bed and whispered, almost surprised by his own voice. Today, I just want to be present. He didn't plan greatness. He didn't rehearse answers. He didn't fear failure. For the first time in years, he simply allowed himself to exist. And that small permission opened a door he didn't know had been locked. Later that afternoon, Elias visited the lantern room, his sanctuary of soft light and unspoken healing. The silver-haired woman noticed something different in his eyes and took a seat beside him. "You seem lighter today," she said gently. Elias nodded. "I didn't do anything special." She smiled knowingly. "That is exactly why." He looked at her, puzzled. She continued, "Greatness is not what you fight for. It's what grows when you stop fighting yourself." Her words landed softly, like falling feathers. "You've been carrying a battle no one else can see," she said. "But today you put the sword down." Elias felt a strange warmth rise in him. Not excitement, not relief, but understanding. For so long he had believed greatness required force, intensity, sacrifice. But the truth was simpler. The moment he stopped trying to prove his worth began to reveal itself. He breathed deeply. For the first time, the air didn't feel heavy. That evening, as Elias walked home through the cobblestone streets, the world felt different. Not because it had changed, but because he had. He noticed the soft clinking of teacups inside the cafe, the warm glow of windows in the early dusk, the quiet laughter of neighbors returning from work, the distant chiming of a church bell. Ordinary sounds that suddenly felt like a symphony. A gentle thought rose within him. Maybe greatness isn't found in extraordinary days, but in finally seeing the beauty in ordinary ones. He slowed his steps. He placed a hand over his chest, and for the first time in decades, his heartbeat felt like a friend. As he reached his home, the lantern outside flickered softly, as if nodding to him in recognition. Inside, warmth waited. Silence welcomed him. Peace settled on his shoulders like a gentle blanket. And everything made sense. The pressure he carried was never his burden to bear alone. The journey he feared was simply a path back to himself. The greatness he chased was already rooted in his quiet resilience. Life does not demand extraordinary things, only honesty, presence, and compassion. He whispered into the stillness, "I am enough, even in my quietness, even in my imperfections, even in my slow becoming." And the world, in its soft, sacred way, seemed to whisper back, "You always were." As you rest tonight, remember what Elias finally discovered. Greatness is not loud. It is not a race. It is not a performance. Greatness is the gentle courage to exist without apology. It is the slow unfolding of a life lived honestly and softly. It is found in presence, not pressure. And every day you rise, no matter how quietly, is a victory. Let this truth cradle your thoughts as sleep approaches. You're growing, healing, becoming, even on the days you feel still. Rest now. Tomorrow will greet you not with demands, but with possibilities. And you, like Elias, will rise again, quietly, steadily, and with a greatness that finally makes sense. Do you like what you just listened to? Kindly like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this.